Hey guys, this is the homework for October 4th. That is Thursday, October 4th. This is what your homework should look like tonight. Number 1 says the following 3 addition problems need to be solved and then find the absolute value and the opposites of the answer. So if my answer is negative 51 plus positive 23, I'm going to actually write down my poem so that you guys remember it, because I know we said it in class today, but I'm going to write it down on my little post-it so that I keep it here. So it is same sign, add and keep, different signs, subtract. Keep the sign, of the bigger number then you'll be exact. Okay, so on my first one, I have different signs. So I'm going to go to this part of my poem where it says different signs subtract. So I'm going to subtract just as if I had the absolute value of 51 and the absolute value of 23. And then you would subtract those numbers and get your answer. It says keep the sign of the bigger number. 51 has a bigger absolute value, so I'm going to keep the bigger number, so I know that one is going to be a negative answer. So negative, whatever the subtraction problem is here. Then you're going to get your absolute value. So the absolute value of that number is going to be a positive number, because the absolute value is always positive. It is the positive value or the distance from 0 if I were just counting the spaces from 0. And then the opposite, so if this is a negative, the opposite of that is going to be the positive version of that number. Then you're going to do the same thing for 13 plus negative 13 and 10 plus negative 18. Number 2 says 9 plus negative 3. Then I want you to put it on the number line. So 9 plus negative 3. And another example of that, let's say that I do 8 plus negative 4. For example, if I did 8 plus negative 4, I would start at 8 and I would go to the left because my negative numbers are to the left. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer would be 4. Then I have so you're going to do the same thing with 9 plus negative 3, but you're going to start at 9 and you're going to move to the left 3 spaces. Then I've got number 3 says circle the 0 pairs in the model, find the sum. Remember, a 0 pair is 1 positive and 1 negative circle. So the red ones, like we said in class, or these darker ones, are going to be your negatives. So they represent my negative 4. My positives are these lighter colored ones, or the yellow or white ones. So on our counters, when we did this in class, we had some that were white, some that were red. So here's what the red and white ones look like. And then our yellow and red ones. So this would be if I had 4 red ones and 5 yellow or white ones. You would cancel out your 0 pairs, so 1 positive, 1 negative, until you have something left over, and then that is going to be your answer, and then whatever sign is on that answer is going to be the answer to the problem, or is going to tell you whether it's positive or negative. Okay, so down here, number 4, it is actually not as hard as it looks. You're just doing 3 steps instead of just 2 steps of adding integers. So the first part, I'm going to go back to my problem where it says same signs, add and keep. I have the same sign, so I'm going to add the 2 numbers and keep the same sign. So I'm going to have a negative number. Then you're going to take that negative number, you're going to add it to 1200, and then you're going to subtract, because it's different signs, subtract. And then your answer, you're going to keep the sign of the bigger number with the bigger absolute value. So whichever one of these has the bigger absolute value is what your answer is going to be. If it's 1200, your answer is going to be positive. If this number over here has a bigger absolute value, your answer is going to be negative. Also, back to number 2, So this is going to be the same part as your second part of your poem. So different signs, you're going to subtract them. So these, if I have different signs, 9 minus 3, and then you're going to keep the sign of the bigger number with a bigger absolute value. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please send me a message through Remind. Send me an email. I know I'm having students doing both, so please send me a message if you have any questions. I will take this copy home with me so I can I'll send it home with myself, so I'll have a copy at home in case you have any questions. Please make sure you tell me if you have any questions though. Have a great evening, guys. Bye.